1. Penn State tuition hike and purchase of Tim Piazza's Frat house. What students need to know. 2. Understanding your privacy rights in Virginia. 1. Penn State tuition hike and purchase of Tim Piazza's Frat house. What students need to know. Penn State is gearing up to implement a tuition increase for its University Park students while also revealing plans to acquire the former Fraternity house linked to the tragic death of Tim Piazza. This announcement has sparked discussions across the community, highlighting the ongoing challenges of affordability in higher education. Under a decision made by the Board of Trustees Finance Committee, in-state undergraduate students attending Pennsylvania State University will face a 2% rise in their tuition fees starting in the academic year 2026 to 2027. The full Board of Trustees endorsed this plan following a vote of 31 in favor and only 3 against it. Interestingly, in-state students enrolled in the Commonwealth campuses will not experience a tuition hike for the 4th consecutive year. This is significant, especially considering the declining enrollment trends at these campuses. In fact, just a few months ago, the board approved the closure of 7 out of the 20 Commonwealth campuses by the end of the 2026 to 2027 academic year to help manage operations more effectively. You may wonder, why are tuition rates set a year in advance? Well, Pennsylvania State University determines its tuition and fees ahead of time, having already established the rates for the 2025 to 2026 academic year in the summer of 2023. During that process, the board also decided that University Park students would see a 2% increase, while for the Commonwealth campuses, the rates would remain unchanged. For out-of-state students attending the Commonwealth campuses, tuition will rise by 1%, whereas those at University Park will see a steeper increase of 4%. Moving forward into 2026 to 2027, the same percentage increases will apply. When applying the new rates, it becomes clear how this affects different student demographics. In-state undergraduate freshmen and sophomores at University Park will pay an annual tuition of $20,878, an increase from $20,468 in the previous year. On the other hand, non-resident undergraduates will find their tuition rising to $44,574 from $42,860. In light of these changes, Penn State President Beta Theta Pi highlighted the tough decisions that have been made to control costs over the past 3 years, which included the closures of campuses. She pointed out that the university faces challenges posed by inflation and mentioned that graduate assistants would receive a 4% pay increase in 2026 to 2027, along with a 3% merit-based pool for staff salaries. It's an unprecedented time in higher education, Beta Theta Pi noted, addressing the uncertainties related to funding from both federal and state sources. She admitted, "At this point, I can't comfortably say we can maintain a balanced budget without implementing a very modest tuition increase for our University Park in-state students." Beta Theta Pi was candid in conveying that this decision was not taken lightly. The university acknowledges the critical importance of accessible education for its students. "We believe this will empower us to invest in our future and strengthen our educational foundation." Moreover, Penn State is not the only institution navigating these financial challenges. This past Thursday, the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education announced its own tuition hike for 2025 to 2026, marking the first increase in 7 years. Students will incur an additional 3.6% in fees unless state funding, which the system has requested, materializes and could potentially negate the increase. Similarly, Temple University recently approved a tuition increase of 3.6% for both in-state and out-of-state students. Compounding the situation, the Pennsylvania State Legislature has yet to finalize funding allocations for higher education institutions. Currently, under the House version passed this week, funding levels for Penn State and 3 other state-related universities are set to remain unchanged. Within the board committee, only one member, Anthony Lubrano, voted against the tuition increase proposal. On a brighter note, Penn State concluded the 2024 to 2025 financial year with a surprisingly positive outcome, erasing initial deficit predictions and ending up with a $44 million surplus. This surplus will be allocated to address deferred maintenance needs within the university. In another major development at the same meeting, the committee backed a proposal for the university to purchase the Beta Theta Pi Fraternity house for $7.3 million. This house has a controversial past, as it was the site where student Tim Piazza incurred fatal injuries during a hazing incident in 2017, leading to numerous criminal charges and significant reforms on campus. Notably, the university had originally sold this property to the Alpha Upsilon Fraternity in 1928 under a stipulation requiring it to revert back to Penn State if it was ever not used as a fraternity. Following Piazza's tragic death, Penn State permanently revoked Beta Theta Pi's charter and sought the return of the property, which has now culminated in the current purchase agreement. Sarah F. Thorndike, the university's senior vice president for finance, shared that the property would initially serve as swing space, while plans for its long-term use will be developed during future planning sessions. As these significant changes unfold at Penn State, the conversation around tuition increases and the acquisition of properties tied to serious incidents raises important questions about the future of campus life and student safety. So, what are your thoughts on these developments? Do you think the tuition increase is justified given the financial landscape, or do you believe there are better paths forward? Join the discussion in the comments. 2. Understanding your privacy rights in Virginia. Imagine this, in a world where your online privacy is fiercely protected, but it might mean missing out on some of the fun stuff you love about websites. If you're tuning in from Virginia, that's exactly the scenario we're dealing with thanks to state privacy laws designed to safeguard your personal information. These rules mean that features like watching videos or engaging with social media elements on tragically.com are turned off by default, all to prevent any potential sharing or selling of your data without your say-so. But here's where it gets controversial. While this setup prioritizes your privacy, it does limit what you can do on the site. For example, those disabled features often rely on third-party services that use data to personalize your experience, like suggesting articles based on your interests or showing ads that might actually be relevant to you. If you're okay with that trade-off, you have choices. You can click to proceed with the restricted version, effectively choosing not to have your personal data sold, but you'll be missing out on the complete tragically.com experience that makes browsing more engaging and interactive. On the other hand, if you want the full ride with all bells and whistles, there's an option to opt in. That means agreeing to let us use your data to enhance your visit and deliver targeted advertising. It's all about giving you a tailored experience, but it does involve sharing some information with our partners. And this is the part most people miss. Opting in isn't just about you. It helps support free content by allowing ads to be more effective, though some might argue that puts convenience over control. Don't worry, managing your preferences is easy. Just bookmark this page so you can come back anytime to adjust your settings. Oh, and if you're not actually a Virginia resident? Make sure to update your location in your settings to unlock the best version of the site tailored to your area, ensuring you get the most out of your time here without unnecessary restrictions. Now, think about this for a moment. Is giving up a little privacy worth it for a more personalized online world, or should we stick to stricter protections no matter what? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you lean towards more control or crave that customized experience?